This is the Louie T Network.
Who else could it be? Me, your man, Louie T. Welcome to lockdown coverage, week number 4 in the National Football League. They say everything's bigger in Texas. Well, this was a Texas-sized ass whooping, if I've ever seen one. This was supersized. And boy, did this one get out of hand quick, fast, and in a hurry. This was surprising, to say the least. I've been on the Titans bandwagon. I'm still on the Titans bandwagon, pending that Marcus Mariota injury, which I'm still waiting word as to the severity of his hamstring injury. He scored the touchdown, the second of his 2 rushing touchdowns, did not return to the game after that. So I'm assuming that's the play that injured his hamstring, diving for the pylon and the touchdown to cut the deficit to 24-14. A deficit that would never get any closer than that in this football game. As a matter of fact, the Titans would not score a single point thereafter that injury to Mariota. So you see the importance that he has on this football team. That goes without saying. We've seen them struggle without him in the past. Matt Cassell is no one's starting quarterback in this league. We already know the book on him. I wish you would have went out and got a better backup quarterback, a guy that would fit your scheme better. I think that, and look, I'm not here to do the whole Colin Kaepernick thing, but I think he's more suitable for what you guys want to do in terms of still being able to implement your read option stuff, keep defenses off balance. You don't have to coach basically two different playbooks, because what Mariota can do and what Matt Cassell can do, Matt Cassell, is 2 vastly different things. No one's afraid of Matt Cassell pulling out read option. All right, Matt Cassell is a quarterback that needs to stand in the pocket, be protected for him to be successful. Whereas Mariota can hurt you with his legs, as we saw in this game, and he can hurt you from the pocket, as we also saw in this game in his brief time playing. So it'd be nice if you would have gotten a guy that fits more to what you do offensively, unlike Matt Cassell, who, like I said, Matt Cassell is a bum. Anyway, in any event, still awaiting word on the severity of that hamstring injury. That's huge for the Titans' success this season. If he's injured for any amount of time, this could put a serious damper on the start to the season for the Titans, because there's been some really big positives for this Titans football team, and this would be a monumental step in the wrong direction if Marcus Mariota is out for the next 4 to 6 weeks with a torn hamstring, or he's out for the next 8 weeks with a torn hamstring, or a severely sprained hamstring, and he's going to be out for the next 4 to 6 weeks. So we're going to see, because his legs, unlike a Derek Carr or a traditional pocket passing type quarterback, his legs are a huge part of what he does as a quarterback. It's a huge part of his effectiveness. So he needs his hamstrings. But in any event, this is not about the Titans. This game is not about the Titans. That's probably the longest extent of Titan talk you're going to get here for this breakdown in particular, because this was all about the Texans and their dominance in this football game, and more importantly, Deshaun Watson and what he was able to do. And I think his play on Sunday sparked the Chicago Bears to say, you know what? Let's see if Mitchell Trubisky can give us that type of spark, as he's going to start on Monday Night Football next week versus the Vikings. I don't blame them for making the move. I don't agree with it, but I don't blame them. And you get an extra few days to implement a game plan because they played on Thursday. So they've got even more time to get him prepared. And it's a Monday night game, so you get an extra day to prepare him to take on the Vikings. I understand why they did it. And this game that Deshaun Watson put forth makes every team that is holding back a rookie quarterback take a second look and say, why don't we just let this guy play and see what he can do? See what he does. You know, I already told you, of all the quarterbacks that were drafted this year, I told you there was one guy that I trusted to start. If he had to start from the beginning, there was only one guy that I trusted to start from the jump and get it done. Because I said, this guy has it. He's a gamer. Go back to my draft wrap-up series analysis. Go back to my draft prospects 101 breakdown of Deshaun Watson, and you will see that I told you that this guy had it. He's a gamer. When the lights are at their brightest, the stage is its biggest, this man does not back down. He does not cower. He does not shrink. He grows exponentially. He is looking for that spotlight. He is looking for that attention. He is looking to make plays on that big stage. We saw it in college football. We've seen it in his young NFL career. Thursday night football, first career start on his birthday, on the road, and he finds a way to pull out a victory. That's what he does. Here's a spot against a hot Titans team that's won 2 straight, had dominant second halves. You're thinking to yourself, all right, you're going to see a good defense in the Titans. Here you are, young fella. What are you going to do? And the man went off for 5 total touchdowns, 4 through the air, another one rushing. And he was outstanding. Led his team to 50. When was the last time the Texans scored 50 anything? And with my luck, it probably happened last year, but still. 57? Yikes! Wowzers! He was tremendous in this game. So we're going to get to that. Let's first, if you haven't done so already, what are you waiting on? Subscribe to Louie T Network for more great content in 2017 and beyond. We're changing the game. I want you to help us do that by simply hitting that subscribe button and becoming a member of the Louie T Network. I've got a number of social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. All of that is in the description. So follow me, like the pages, all of that good stuff. Also, you can donate to the Louie T Network, man. We're really trying to change the game over here. That's how you do it, via PayPal. There's the link. The link is also in the description down below as well. So all of the information that you need to become a serious member of the Louie T Network, to donate to the channel, to follow me on Instagram, to follow me on Twitter, which is probably your best bet. If you follow me on Twitter, you will never be out of the loop on what's going on here on the Louie T Network, along with, of course, subscribing to the channel, the Louie T Network on YouTube. But in any event, everything's in the description, man. Any donation that you can give, no matter how big or small, I appreciate them all. And so I thank you in advance for your contribution, whether you can give or you can't give. Your contribution of just watching, supporting, liking, and sharing these videos is more than enough for me. And so I thank you in advance for any and all of your participation on this channel. That being said, this was just a downright beatdown, outright assault of the Tennessee Titans. AFC South family business. And I love when teams execute family business like this. There's nothing better. Only thing better than doing it the way the Texans did it is doing it at somebody else's house. There's nothing more disrespectful than a family member showing up unannounced. You know, it's nothing worse than having a family member show up at your door. You go to the door and you look through the peephole and you're like, the hell is he doing here? I'm not even dressed. Why is he here? My house looks a mess. Why is he here? He didn't ask me if he could come over. He's not leaving. He's still knocking. So you go throw something on real quick and you open the door like, hey man, what's up? What's up, cuz? Nothing much, man. I was in the neighborhood, thought I'd drop by. Cool, man. Kind of busy right now, man. Nah, I just want to stop by and talk for a little bit, man. And he just forces his way in. Next thing you know, he's in your kitchen, already in the fridge, pulling out a nice cold brewski, cold beverage, already in your pantry and your cabinet, pulling out a couple snacks. You're like, damn, you ain't even asked me if you could have some. You know, that's that family love where they just come in and disrespect your house. Nothing better than that. But this was close. This was close. Okay? You invited them over. You told your family member, hey, come on over, man. Matter of fact, get here at 1 o'clock. We'll be waiting. Picked his ass off on the first possession. That turned into a touchdown. got a stop. That turned into a touchdown. Turned around, scored another touchdown, kicked a field goal. You scored 30 points. And if not for Deshaun Watson being reckless with the football right before the half, you would have scored more. You would have scored more. At least a field goal. It was amazing. This was impressive. You invited the family member over, told them, hey, man, we got drinks, plenty of food, man. Come in, make yourself comfortable. They had no idea it was a setup. You weren't going to feed them. There was nothing to drink. This was an ambush. This was beautiful. They didn't know what hit them. By the time they realized it, it was already 37-14. They didn't know what hit them. It was 30-14 at halftime. They didn't know what the hell just happened. They said, wait a minute. They said it was going to be food and drinks. They told us to get here at 1. What the hell, man? As soon as you walked in the door, bam! Somebody punched them in the back of their damn head, put a bag over their head, tied them up, and had their way with them. Keep your friends closer and your enemies even closer. Or is it the other way around? In this case, keep your enemies closer and your family members even closer. You just never know. And you know what was the most refreshing thing about this for me, outside of Deshaun Watson's performance, we're going to kind of delve into that a little bit more here in a second, was I said 2 weeks ago when they beat Cincinnati, I said, you wait. Just you wait till they get Will Fuller the third, or is it the fourth, back. I think he's a number 4. We can go with that. So you wait till they get Will Fuller the fourth back. Teams are going to be in trouble because that young fella there, he can run. And you know what that's going to force teams to do? Take that double team off of Nuke. Now you can't double. That's an ISO now. That's a one-on-one matchup. Nuke's going to win that all night long. All night. Whoa. All night long. All night. All night. He's going to win that all night long. All day long. Like L.A.B all day strong, all day long. He's going to win that one-on-one matchup. Because you got to keep a man over the top of Will Fuller. If you don't, Will's going to get ya. And he was open twice deep. And Deshaun missed him twice in this game. Don't worry, he's going to hit that eventually. And I didn't know Will Fuller was coming back this week. That's what happens when you got these Thursday night games F everything up because you don't get the injury report. You don't get to figure out who's in and who's out. You got to make your picks before you figure out some of these things. That would have changed my whole thought process if I would have known Will Fuller was back in this game. Because I told you, he changes everything. And I actually thought, for the first time in a long time, this was a beautifully game-planned and well-executed game plan by the Texans. Bill O'Brien and his crew actually catered to the strengths of their quarterback and the players around him. I've been begging for a wide receiver screen for, 2 years now? I haven't seen a quality wide receiver screen ran by this team since week 1 last year versus the Bears, when Will Fuller caught one and took it to the crib in his first game. Nuke finally gets a wide receiver screen. It took you that long to realize, hey, number 10's a really good receiver. Maybe we should get him the football immediately, like right now, a screen. Took you that long to figure that out. It took Will Fuller to come back for you to figure out, hey, we got weapons. Let's try to get everybody involved. Again, I'm just a professional football watcher. I don't know anything, right? So Will Fuller comes back, and now the field is spread. It's open now. You can't double Nuke. You have to pay attention to Will Fuller. And all of a sudden now, Nuke's having a big day. He's going off, scoring touchdowns and whatnot. Will Fuller is scoring touchdowns and winning against zone coverage and wide open, and Deshaun's hitting him. And Bruce Ellington is starting to run up the seam unmolested for catches. and Ryan Griffin is doing the dirty work on third and short and moving the sticks. Everything's coming together now. All of a sudden, the run game looks a lot more fluid, a lot more space there. Got to keep that defender out of the box now. Got to keep those guys deep. It changes things. When you've got pure speed, it changes the way a defense can defend you. And this thing is going to be interesting over the next couple of weeks as to how teams try to prevent the Texans from doing what they did in this game, because it's going to be tough. They got weapons everywhere. And if they're going to run speed options inside the 5, where Deshaun Watson has the ability to pitch it to the running back at the last second, what are you going to do, man? Like, they can't run that all the time. Obviously, NFL defenses are going to adjust, but if they're able to run that once every game, once every other game or so, every 2 games, it's going to catch defenses off guard, and they're going to score points off of that. Like, that's what I'm talking about when I say adjusting your play calls to your talent. They haven't done that in Houston enough for my liking. They're doing it now, and it's a pleasure to watch. Deshaun Watson was outstanding. His ability, a lot of people thought that he was going to be able to escape the pocket and make plays with his legs, which he's done thus far in his young career, but I don't think enough people thought, I'm included. I'm not going to sit here and try to distance myself from everybody else. I told you he would be successful, but I thought he was going to be successful because of his ability to extend plays and use his legs. I didn't think he was ready to throw from the pocket and dominate games the way that he has. But I saw a guy that had the ability to do this versus New England. And that game alone told me Deshaun Watson is ready for the show. He's ready. And you saw that in this game. He just absolutely destroyed the Titans from the pocket. These weren't bootlegs. These weren't rollouts. These weren't broken plays that he made something out of nothing. This was him standing in the pocket, 3rd and 4, hitting Ryan Griffin for 5. This was 3rd and 7, or 1st and 10, or 2nd and 7, finding Will Fuller the 4th on a corner route for a touchdown. Finding Nuke over the middle of the field on a slant for a touchdown. Finding Bruce Ellington up the seam for 30 yards and 1st and goal from the 4. This was him spreading the football around to all of these weapons and making plays. That was impressive. And he's doing it from the pocket. And oh, by the way, he can still use his legs like he did on the touchdown run, where he set it up beautifully, ran to the right, got all the traffic flowing to the right, stopped, stuck his foot in the ground, cut it back to the left, walked in for a touchdown. He can still do that. That's what makes him the ultimate dual threat quarterback in the league right now, because of his ability to not only beat you from the pocket, but beat you with his legs as well. That's scary, because the Texans have never had anything close, remotely close to this at the quarterback position. They haven't had a semblance of a quarterback since they've become dominant on defense. This makes them a legit contender in the AFC if this continues. Now, remember, they're only 2-2. Remember that he's a young quarterback. Remember that it's young. Early NFL season, things happen, things change. But if this keeps up, the Texans are legit because of that defense. Because we know it's cute to score 38 in the regular season. All that shit stops come postseason. Come January into February, that shit stops. And the teams that can play defense, they win. That's why every year everyone looks at the Texans and say, man, if they had a quarterback, because we know the defense is legit. I'm not sure the defense is as good as it was in the past, because Tennessee was moving the football before Mariota's injury. We saw the Patriots, and I know it's Tom Brady, but we saw the Patriots move the football even though y'all banged Tom up. He still was able to do what he needed to do to help his team win that football game and score 36. So, bottom line is, with this kind of play at the quarterback position, this team becomes lethal and dangerous. Highly corrosive and explosive. And if this continues, you've got to look at the Houston Texans as a serious threat in the AFC. Now, it's early, and we don't know if Deshaun Watson will be able to keep this up. But just looking at him after the last 2 weeks, the man is the real deal. This is fun to watch. I cannot tell a lie. This is fun to watch. Defensively for the Texans, once Mariota left the game, it was dominant. Lights out, baby. You know, Andre Howell, before he left, had 2 picks off of Mariota that led to points. The defense did their thing. The biggest way to beat the Titans is to stop the run. You make them one-dimensional. You got them right where you want them. And you did a really good job of holding up the run for the most part in this game early on, which allowed you to climb out to that 30-14 lead at half. And once you came out of the halftime break and saw that Matt Cassell was under center and not Marcus Mariota and that he wasn't coming back, this game was over. Over. And you didn't allow them to score a single point in the second half. That's how you turn out the lights. That's how you turn off the faucet like those boys ain't paid a bill. You stick a garbage quarterback under center, you turn off the lights, and you turn off the faucet. You didn't pay your bill. No electricity, no water for you. That's how you do it. That's how the big boys do it up here in the National Football League. Turn off the lights, turn off the faucet. You put Matt Castle in the game, that's what happens. You go to the Titans side of things, there's really not much to say in this game. This was an ass whooping from start to finish. What more can I say? It ain't much more for me to say. All right, this is one of those games, you don't even show this to the team. You burn this shit, you bury it, and you move on. There's nothing to be gained from watching this tape. The one thing that you need to look at is Marcus Mariota okay? That's the only thing you need to take away from this game. Is our quarterback going to be good enough to start next week? Or the week after that? Or the week after that? That's the only thing you need to know about this game. I will say this. Your young boy from USC, Adoree Jackson, he's getting his ass smoked every single week. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. He already came in the league at 5'10", like a $185, so he was already undersized. And every single week, I'm watching him get his ass busted. Now, he's young, and that's what happens to young corners most times, often than not. But I'm just saying, don't get down on the young fella, but just know there are more ass whoopings to come for young Adoree Jackson. Teams are going at him. They're not going away from him. They are going at him and having a ton of success. Just a little side note. Just a little side note. But there's not much more to say about the Titans in this game. You get your ass whooped 57-14. There's not a lot to talk about. Really, there's not. So we're just going to get to the comments in this game. See what we got. Cloud says, did not expect to see this ass whooping happen to the Titans. Nobody did. You know, nobody expected a 50 burger. A 50 burger with cheese. Those boys could have put up 60 if they wanted to. This was a 50 burger with cheese. All of the accoutrements was on this burger, man. Pickles, lettuce. I don't even like bacon. I don't eat pork. I don't eat swine. I don't swine and dine. But if that's what you want on your burger, go right ahead. Put all the fixings on your burger, man. This was a 50 burger with all the fixings, with all the toppings. Nobody expected this. Cloud says, I disagree. I think playing Mitch is a good thing. Everyone thinks playing Mitch is a good thing until Mitch gets his ass whooped. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Mitch goes out there and balls like he did in the preseason. That is what I am hoping for, because I root for every young guy to make it in this league. I do. I'm a fan of football. And so the way that football continues to be a great product is for young players to live up to their billing. When the young guys stink, that makes for a bad product. Because if you trade away all the assets that they traded to get Mitchell Trubisky and he doesn't work out, that sets your franchise back 5 years minimum. 5 years. So I'm hoping that he's good. I'm hoping that I'm wrong, but he's gonna get his ass whooped. May not be in week 1, may not be the second week. He gonna get his ass whooped because there's not a lot of talent. Unlike Deshaun Watson in Houston, they have talent in Houston. They got weapons all around. They just got running backs and tight ends in Chicago. All those weapons he was throwing to in the preseason, they gone. They're not on the team no more. Victor Cruz is gone. All right? All the guys that he was throwing to in the preseason, Kevin White, he's gone. Cameron Meredith, he's gone. Hell, even some of them second and third string dudes he was throwing to, most of them dudes, they gone. Now you left with Deontay Thompson and Kendall Wright and Marcus Wheaton. Good luck. You're going to need it. Peter Webster says, Watson has it, a.k.a. icy testicles. He's pulling out the icy testicles that we dropped on y'all, that gem I dropped on your melon last year. Icy testicles. He's got it. The young fella's got it. You saw it again in this game. Silver V says, at the beginning of every year, I tell folks that the strength of schedule rankings are irrelevant. The Rams, the Bills, the Texans were circled as wins on most teams' calendars. Shaking my damn head. That's why I told you, it's an exercise in futility every year when we sit here and we try to predict wins and losses. You can't do it in this league. You can't even do it on a week-to-week basis. It's so tough. Now, the Jets are still a win on my calendar. They're still a win. But they're 2-2. Some people had the Jets going 0-16. They're going to win a game. I said, look, no one's going 0-16 in this day and age in the league. You're going to find a way to win a game somewhere. The Browns were close last year, but they found a way to win a game somewhere. You're going to luck up and win a game somewhere. But I had them at like 1-15, 2-14. They've already won 2 games. It's irrelevant. I couldn't agree with you more, Silver. It's irrelevant to look at the schedule and try to decipher wins and losses before the season because you don't know how these teams are going to be. Damon Brown says, I'm starting to get a little bit more sold on Watson. I thought he had bust written all over him. Jury's still out on him, but I do have a new perspective of him. And look, it's okay to still be a little apprehensive to go all in on Deshaun Watson. It's only been 3 games. Granted, he's played well in all 3 of the games and won 2 of them. And these last 2, even though one was a loss, he was exceptional in both of them. It's okay to still be apprehensive to go all in on him because as we've seen in this league before, teams don't have a book on him yet. There's still a lot to learn about Deshaun Watson. I think he can play. I think he has it. I think even when teams have enough film on him to actually put together a complete game plan on how to stop him, I still think that the talent that he has around him and his ability just to make plays and be a dynamic playmaker and game changer will shine through, and he'll continue to make plays despite teams game planning to stop him. So there's still a cause for concern because, yeah, it's still early. So I get it. Totally get it. Next Sunday against the Kansas City Chiefs will be a real big test for him. That'll probably be the best defense he's seen in his short NFL career to this point. Damon Brown says, I think the Titans might want to invest in a backup quarterback considering how fragile Marcus Mariota is. Take a guess at who I would consider has the same skill set as Marcus. I think you might be talking about the Oklahoma quarterback, Baker Mayfield. Looks like he has a similar skill set to that of Marcus Mariota. Will you be able to get him? I think his draft stock is rising considerably. And with guys like Deshaun Watson coming into the league and performing as well as they are, I think teams might be willing to overlook Baker Mayfield's stature and give him an opportunity. So we'll see. Cloud says, true. I just think the experience would help him. I know it's early, but look at Wentz. It seems like he's progressed this season. But Wentz was different. Okay, Wentz was different. It was different with Wentz because with Wentz, first of all, we made fun of the Eagles' lack of talent. they still had enough talent to where it wasn't all on Wentz's shoulders. Excuse me. I thought they could have done a better job last year of running the football and not making Wentz throw it as much as he did. The offensive line was a train wreck once Lane Johnson got suspended, so that was a problem. But Wentz, to me, had a different situation in Philadelphia. It was enough. There were low expectations, which there are in Chicago as well. That's the same. But I felt like Wentz, to me, had the mindset of a unflappable guy that has the ability to succeed if you put him in a situation and you say, hey, man, we need it. He's going to go out and go get it. And last year, I thought the Eagles had enough talent around him. We may not have loved all of the stuff that they had around him, but it was enough talent for him to be successful. They had Zach Ertz. They had Jordan Matthews. They had enough talent. They had Sproles out of the backfield. You had Matthews in the backfield, which I thought he should have gotten more touches. Even though he's a fumbler, when healthy, he's still a productive back. And they also had Smallwood and a number of other guys. There was enough talent that the Eagles had last year. It is morbidly bad in Chicago. It's really bad. I mean, really, really bad. To the point where it's almost a detriment to him. Other than turning around and handing it off to Cohen and throwing it to Cohen and handing it to Jordan Howard and throwing to your tight ends and maybe one or two of those receivers, it's not much out there for him. But experience does help. That is a fact. But getting your ass whooped doesn't help. And unlike Trubisky, Wentz had college football experience. He was a starter for multiple years at North Dakota State. Mitchell Trubisky has 1 year of starting experience. If things start going south for him, there's not a lot for him to look back upon and say, I've been in tough situations before. I'm just saying. But we'll see, man. We'll see. Cloud says, also look at Winston and Mariota. Yeah, again, different situations. Different situations. Those quarterbacks had extensive college backgrounds. So this stage wasn't going to be too big for them. Coming into the NFL, Mitchell Trubisky had, 11 career starts? And both of those guys, I'm not saying that they were on great teams, talent-wise. I think that they had enough talent around them in Tampa and in Tennessee to get the job done. It wasn't a great wealth of talent, but I thought it was enough in those places. So we'll see. We'll see. But in any event, that's going to do it for your man, Louie T. Here on this breakdown, or should I say this beatdown. Texans hand it to one of their family members, 57-14. Deshaun Watson goes off. 5 total touchdowns, 4 through the air, 1 on the ground. Only 1 INT in this game for Watson as he goes ballistic along with the rest of this Texans football team. Mariota gets injured for the Titans. What's new? I said this at the top of the show. Hey, Cap's out there. Fits what you do. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. I know you're not going to go out and get him, but it beats Matt Cassell. That's for damn sure. In any event, hopefully Mariota's injury isn't extensive and he's not going to miss a lot of playing time. But if he misses any time at all, this Titans team is in trouble in an all of a sudden extremely competitive AFC South division. It's going to do it for your man Louie T here on Lockdown Coverage. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here on the Louie T Network. Come back and join me as I continue to break down anything and everything in the National Football League. Got more Lockdown Coverage coming your way. I got Vikings and Lions and Bears. Oh, my. Coming up next. And then we're going to get into the final stretch of lockdown coverage, leading us straight into this Monday night game. I've got Patriots and Panthers. I've got Chargers and Eagles. I've got Bucks and Giants. So a lot more football to get to, a lot more lockdown coverage. Why go anywhere else? All you need is right here. I'll be back in about 5 minutes with Vikings and Lions. See you in a second.